If you started your broad beans at the end of last year, then the chances are they are looking for a little bit of attention now and nipping out the tops to avoid any issues with black fly. If the black fly have already started attacking, then pinching the tops out will also help reduce the numbers anyway, so this is still something that you'd want to do. This is what mine are looking like at the moment. They're flowering really well and the beans are starting to form at the bottom. We'll have a look at that in a second because it can look like they're dying. It can be a little bit confusing of what's going on. I have managed to avoid actually needing to support mine currently, and that's just because they've got quite a bit of support around the edges. We've got comfrey, and then we've got some kale that I've allowed to go to flower, and the few that will fall over I'll just support individually. If you have some spring sown ones, then you might want to add some pieces of wood at each corner and then some strings right round the edge. The flowers are quite pretty and quite fragrant as well, so if you haven't managed to give it a sniff, have a go. Further down you'll see that the flowers are dying off, and this is where the beans will actually appear. So you can just gently pull that off. I wouldn't normally do that, but you can see a bean forming underneath. So although it can look a little bit like they're not doing anything, they are doing something underneath. You're just a little bit hidden from eye. I also have a bit of a fungal disease going on, so you can see this here. I think it's a brown spot fungal disease. That just means that certain ones might not produce as well, although these other plants have recovered absolutely fine. But they will be popped in the bin rather than in the compost or burnt at the end, just to avoid any issues with that. And you can see I've got lots of weeds in between as well, so I will pull some weeds out around the edge and any that I can easily see, but the rest will wait until the plants come out now, and we'll have beans coming off of these pretty soon. Once your beans are around full height to what you expect, what we want to do is remove the very tender tips right at the top. This is what the black fly are usually targeting, the more tender stems. By removing this, it reduces their numbers or the likelihood of them coming in a mass number greatly. So at that point, you're just going to pinch them off, and it's going to aid each of the plants also to become more bushy. So it's beneficial for the plants as well. So I've got a basket full of these tips now of the broad beans, and they will be taken inside, sauteed and eaten, so don't let them go to waste. If you're down south, then the chances are that you may already find that the black fly have started swarming onto your plants and causing a bit of an issue. So pinch the tops off and pop them into the compost, but I would encourage you to leave some of them in place rather than jetting them all off, and actually it's going to encourage the predators like the ladybugs and the lacewing and things in to eat them, so it's beneficial in that respect. From this point, the beans are going to grow pretty fast, and we'll be looking at harvesting the first lot of these quite soon, so that'll be the next time we do look at them. But if you do have any questions or concerns, then do please let me know.